Wife abandoned our kids after her friends convinced her she was wasting her youth, being tied down. Now 9 years later came back expecting to be their mom. Again, but I already have a wife who they call mom. My ex-wife, Sarah, walked out on our family when our son Jake was 6 and daughter Emma was 4. Her yoga friends convinced her she was wasting her youth, being tied down to domestic responsibilities. One night, she announced she was leaving us to find herself in California. I'll come back to visit once I get settled, she promised Jake and Emma as they cried. Jake asked if he'd done something wrong. Emma clung to Sarah's leg, sobbing. Sarah called occasionally the first year, usually drunk and guilty, making promises about visits that never happened. The inconsistent contact destroyed the kids emotionally. I eventually changed our phone number because watching them get their hopes up, then be devastated, was unbearable. For 3 years, I struggled as a single father with 2 traumatized children. Then I met Lisa at Emma's school fundraiser. She was Emma's teacher, and friendship gradually became something deeper. Lisa never tried to replace their mother. She simply showed up consistently, helping with homework, attending soccer games, being present. After 2 years together, Lisa legally adopted them since Sarah had disappeared completely, which constituted legal abandonment. Jake and Emma, now 15 and 13, call Lisa mom naturally. They remember their biological mother, but she feels like someone from their distant past. 3 weeks ago, Sarah appeared at our front door. Leaving was the biggest mistake of my life, she said. I want to come back and be part of our family again. I invited her in and called Lisa home early. Sarah seemed remorseful, but had completely unrealistic expectations about stepping back into our lives as if 9 years hadn't happened. When the kids got home from school, their reactions were immediate. Jake became visibly angry. Why did you come back? Do you expect us to just forget everything? Emma hid behind Lisa and refused to look at Sarah. Both kids made it clear they had no interest in a relationship with Sarah and considered Lisa their real mother. Jake interrupted Sarah's pleas. There's nothing you can do to make up for 9 years of absence. We already have a mother who actually cares about us. I called Sarah later and explained the kids had made their feelings clear. I was going to respect their wishes and not force them into a relationship. Sarah became upset and threatened legal action for visitation or custody. I consulted a family attorney who confirmed Sarah's parental rights had been legally terminated when she abandoned the children and Lisa adopted them. She had no legal standing. When I explained this to Sarah, she accused me of using legal technicalities to keep her away, as if the adoption was some trick rather than a consequence of her abandonment. The final straw came when Sarah went to Emma's school claiming a family emergency and demanding to see her daughter. When staff checked records and saw Lisa listed as Emma's mother, they told Sarah she couldn't see Emma without authorization. Sarah became agitated, arguing with staff that she was Emma's real mother. She tried looking for Emma herself, walking down hallways and peering into classrooms. The school called security and police to escort her off property. When I picked Emma up, she was upset and embarrassed. Why did Sarah come to my school? Is she going to keep showing up places where I'm supposed to feel safe? I called Sarah immediately. Going to Emma's school was completely unacceptable. You violated every boundary we established. I was worried because she hadn't returned my calls, Sarah said defensively. I told them there was a family emergency because I didn't know how else to see her. There was no emergency. You lied to school officials and tried to circumvent safety protocols. Not being able to talk to my daughter felt like an emergency to me. That response showed how fundamentally she misunderstood the situation. She viewed any obstacle to accessing Jake and Emma as unfair, rather than understanding her children had rights to privacy and safety. I told Sarah her behavior eliminated any possibility of contact and she needed to stay away from our family entirely. If she violated boundaries again, I'd pursue a restraining order. Both kids were relieved they didn't have to manage Sarah's expectations anymore. The school incident had made their decision final. They wanted nothing to do with someone who would violate their safety to satisfy her own needs.